All right, there you go. There you go. So, all right, we back virtual. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna introduce you because they don't know who you are. People who aren't like in the live and who people who are listening to the podcast, they don't know who you are. So I still haven't introduced you yet, but I'm so excited because this was supposed to happen pre-COVID. Special guest, Detroit Pistons Jr. NBA Coach of the Year, founder of her own company, Oleta One Basketball, trainer at Pickup USA Basketball Facility, student assistant coach for the men's basketball team at Madonna University. Shay, what else is it that I'm missing? What else is I missing?
Nothing. You covered it all, basically.
Shae-Oleta Smith, y'all. She is here with us. Thank you for joining the run. I'm so excited we finally got a chance to do this, even though it's not the way that I really, really wanted to do, which was in person. But I'm just glad we can still keep it going. It was supposed to happen so long ago.
Man.
It's nothing that can like reciprocate being in the studio and like being on air. And I really miss that feeling. I miss that. Like the virtual stuff is cool. I'm so tired of virtual, especially like with taking classes and stuff. I'm all through it. I'm
You're
done.
telling me.
I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So further ado, let's go ahead and get started. How did you even get started into the coaching and even going as far as coaching the Detroit Pistons junior team, just going that far with it at such a young age? How'd you even get that far?
So I really got into coaching when I could no longer play anymore due to a heart condition. And then just through there, I didn't want to leave the game. It was kind of like a itch that I needed to like scratch. And so I was like, okay, let's just get into coaching in any way possible. So I started coaching and training for free, essentially, just so I can get back into it, et cetera, et cetera. But actually, I never coached a junior NBA team. I was just named the Junior NBA Coach of the Year award because I'm one of the coaches in Michigan that they wanted to represent for them for the national title. So like,
What?
yeah, so however many teams were actually involved in the Junior NBA thing, because it could have been 30, but like there wasn't. It was multiple teams, from WNBA teams, from NBA teams, from G League teams. Basically, any team could pick someone they wanted to represent from their state to make it to nationals, basically. But I didn't make it that far. I only made it to the semi-8 from about 30 people to 8 people. So, but it was a good experience overall.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Wait, so just to clarify, so it wasn't actually coaching. It was just from like your past experiences. You were nominated for it. Or,
So everything that I do, like it was about coaching,
oh,
but I never was a coach for any junior NBA team. There was a person that was
I,
nominated last year. I forget his name, but he had the last name as me, Smith. He was nominated and he did coach a junior NBA team, but I was not. I was not selected because of a junior NBA team, just because of a coach and what I do for the
right, right.
community.
Oh, that's good. That almost even makes it even better, honestly.
Yeah, so it was kind of random, like, because I wasn't involved entirely at that. Like, it was just like they were watching me.
Right, right. Oh, that's cool. So did they pick up on like what you were doing with Pickup USA and like just with your own training as well, or like how did they
Yeah.
find you? I guess. I guess that's what I'm
So,
curious
so
too.
I actually help out with or not the junior, but the Pistons Academy program that the Pistons holds every year, basically. And so I helped out with that. I helped out with the 3-on-3 tournament that was in the summertime, previous to when I got chosen. So was that last summer? Not the summer that just passed, the summer before that.
Right,
Um,
before COVID though.
yeah,
Way
before
COVID.
COVID. So,
Okay, all right, cool, cool.
basically that 3-on-3 tournament, I helped out at. There's a lot of things I helped out, because the Pistons have renovated courts all over the city of Detroit, and so they hold camps there. They hold like yoga classes, informational things at those courts, and so just basically being involved with the Pistons community, led like me to be like in their spotlight, and then also networking and having connections, and then I guess just marketing myself on like my brand page, which is Olita One Basketball, da da da, and they just been, looking at me ever since.
Nah, that's cool, man. That's real cool. Yeah, I see you be working. You still training through the virtual and all of that. Like, man,
That's
that's
tough.
yeah. I bet. You ever? I'm gonna jump back in a second. I'm kind of jump back and forth. But you ever come across like kids that you're training virtually and like just can't stay focused?
So actually, when we first got locked down and I decided to do virtual for the first time, which was back in like April, maybe
Yeah.
May, when
Yep.
we first officially, like everything was closed. Like we couldn't even go outside barely.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Um, but the weather was getting warm, so we were still able to utilize outside and stuff like that before some hoops were taken down and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I didn't really pick up anyone new per se, but like even with the newer clients I did have, it was hard. Not with their, focus, but just the fact that like I can only do so much over the phone. I'm
Yeah.
limited to what I can do and how I can teach it. For me personally, me
Yeah.
growing up, I was a you have to show me it, literally like
Hands
maybe
on, hands
move my
on type of
body to
person.
that
Yeah.
spot. Yeah. So
Yep.
like I know for some of my kids it's like I could say it all day, but it's like it's not going to click, but that's just how some people learn.
Yeah,
So,
and I feel like it's easier too with basketball when you, with like the hands on type of thing, especially when you're dealing with footwork type of stuff, ball
yes.
hand, all kind of stuff. It's like, or even just basic shooting, like nah, put your elbow in, now shoot it while you got
Mhm.
the elbow like straight and stuff like just simple stuff like that. It makes it so much easier to do when training. So I definitely understand that challenge in terms of being virtual because man, it sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks. It sucks. So, like I said, I told you I was about to jump back and forth a little bit. I wanted to jump that question, but also, like you mentioned, the heart condition. So
Mhm.
that's tough. I feel for you for that because I know people personally who was affected by that as well. So, I guess when that all came to I guess to the vision and like you heard about it and everything, how was it dealing with that? Like, how was it? What kind of things did you do to even cope with it or get through to that?
So I actually, funny story. So I actually had this since I was 12. I was diagnosed as a 12-year-old with heart palpitations during my track season. And the doctors kind of paid close attention to me because as a 12-year-old having heart palpitations, it's kind of weird because usually it's due to stress. And as a 12-year-old in middle
Uh,
school, you're like stressed. So I kind of grew up with a stressful life, and it kind of stemmed from that. Living in my mom's household, we didn't really believe in man-made medicine, so I couldn't really go to the doctor a lot, and even if I wanted to, I can't go without a parent. So I didn't really have a say so until I got to college, when I was able to, kind of do more than just, I guess, like just more than what I could. And so I guess I just waited way too long, and that it just got worse and worse and worse because I didn't try to fix it at all, which stemmed into it becoming ventricular tachycardia. So it's just like my heart sitting down, I guess to like kind of dumb it down, my heart sitting down like right now, I could have I could feel like I just ran a mile. Like I could feel like right now my heart could be beating out my chest. Like same with my blood pressure. I
wow.
could literally be sitting here not doing anything, talking to you, and like all of a sudden start gasping for air. So imagine an extraneous college workout, imagine like all that on top of my heart already overworking itself. So,
Yeah, that man, that's tough. That's tough.
yeah. And then you said like how I dealt with it was kind of hard because I don't like being told like I can't play basketball. Like I never really had too many injuries that like prevented me from playing. Like yeah, I probably, broke my finger, sprained my finger, hurt my foot, toe, not to the point where I had to stop playing. So being
Hmm.
told like, okay, you cannot play until you get cleared. And when it comes to your heart, you can't just go in the next day.
Yeah,
It takes a month to even get an appointment. You feel me? So they
right.
try they try to have me on blood pressure medication. They try to have me on this iron pill. They try to have me on like, or was it magnesium? It was one of the two. It was a bunch of other medications that I
Damn,
had to take. It was like three different medications I had to take 3 times a day, and one
damn.
of them caused my adrenaline like not to go up. Like I would be in practice not sweating, couldn't break a sweat, didn't get butterflies. Like I remember one of my friends in practice, she was like, "Are you about to fall asleep?" I'm like, "Yes," because like So how it goes is like my heart rate like is up here sometimes. My heart rate could be normal sometimes, right?
Right.
And the medication only keeps my heart rate steady. So if my heart rate's already steady, it's gonna drop my heart rate. So I'm gonna not be as hyper, like I'm gonna be drained. I'm gonna be, just very chill. So it was very hard. So I had to wear a lot of heart monitors. Like I remember my first week of freshman year, I had to wear a 30-day heart monitor, hoop with it, everything. It was like a
Dang.
clunky little, like, I don't know, radio on my hip. So
Oh man.
yeah, it was just so much, and it was just so draining and tiring to deal with.
Man, dang, that's good. So I'm guessing eventually they told you like it's probably not best that you keep playing, or was that a decision you came with on your own?
So, funny story.
Give it to me.
Once my medication was about to be done, I was supposed to get a refill, and they give you like a notification, like, "Hey, you need a refill soon." One of the medications was way too strong for, what was I, 18 at the time, for an 18-year-old. Like I was almost like passing out trying to drive home from Ann Arbor, like almost
Dang.
falling asleep because that blood pressure medication was so much for me, and the other two medications was so much. I asked my doctor, I said, "Is there any way I could take less of it?" And she was like, "Basically, you have to take this in order to play." And so it was like an agreement, and I ended up not telling my trainer that I just didn't take it or stop taking one of the medications. And some way, because somewhere in between, the doctor and the trainer have to be able to communicate and fax stuff over.
Right.
And like, obviously, I got not caught, but like they found out, and basically, it was just like your ultimatum was like take the medication or this could happen if you don't.
Dang.
And then also another thing about medication is like one of the medicines, if you continue to take it, you kind of got worse off, not with your heart, but like with your liver, your kidney, and stuff like that. So it was just so
Oh,
much
so
involved.
it just take a beating everywhere else. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, it's like one of them commercials where it's take this for your asthma, but the side
But
effect you might have this. You gonna have these problems. You gonna have damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy. So they try to give you one of them type of medicines.
Yeah, basically.
Oh man, that's crazy. So Shae, right now I wanna stop the video because I want to be able to say what we have so far. Because this is through Instagram Live, it's only a certain amount of time. So we're gonna keep going, but it's only a certain amount of time where like you have until you can save the video after. So I gotta save this video. All
Okay.
right, so I'm gonna save this video. This will be our break. If we were in person, this would be usually where I would play music, but unfortunately we can't. And if also it was in person, you would be able to play your selection. I would just say, what song do you want? Well, I would have told you that before we started. I would have asked,
Yeah.
what song do you want? And then, boom, I would have put it up. We would have played it. But, so I'm going to say this video and then jump back on the live, invite you. We're going to kick it off. We're going to keep going with the interview. This is a good place to stop because I do have more questions. And it's very interesting right now. So let me say this video. I'm going to invite you. Stay tuned. Everybody who just joined, just be patient. And we're going to start right back up. Interviews in person because
Yeah.
it's you build a different type of connection.
Yeah. And then like just talking to Dwayne Casey on one of the interviews I had on Fox 4, I think it was Fox 4, like just trying to go to the practice facility and then all this happening, and it's just like it kind of has put a lot of the opportunities I had on hold, like even with the interview with you. But in the end, you kind of got to think like maybe it was a reason for that. Like, everything comes in a full circle eventually. Like we ended up getting our interview and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
can only stay prayed up. So
no, I definitely feel that. I feel that. I would have loved to do the interview in person, of course, but under these circumstances, like you were saying, it's just kind of it was a blessing in other places because
yeah.
now I was able to get the website going. I was able to get my website going. I was procrastinating on that for so long. So when COVID forced me to sit my butt down, and I still barely want to do interviews and like virtual, but I'm like, well, at this point it looks like we're gonna be virtual for a minute. So it forced me to go ahead and get things going on my website and make sure I put out different articles, get other writers, and do things for them, get that platform for other writers as well. So it's definitely been a blessing in disguise. So I'm grateful, annoyed. It's all kind of different mixed emotions about COVID.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So Shae, ultimately, how far do you want to take the training in terms of training, coaching, career wise?
So when you're a college coach is already at a pro level, but like for me, I want to get involved in some way in a NBA setting. So whether that is just being like, because my degree is in business, but my concentration is in marketing. So that's even being in the marketing department at some NBA team and working my way in there somehow, or just like, you know, being there during the practices or something, just getting like, even if I'm just shadowing a different coach and like an NBA facility, like just to be able to get in there. That's my main goal right now. But I'm striving
Right.
towards that tremendously. Like for a 21-year-old, like,
Yeah, keep
yo,
doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You are on the right track. You're
thank you.
definitely on the right track with everything. This kind of made me think about it, how you were saying you wanted to still go far and like be in the setting of the NBA. Even with where you are now, have you came across any dudes that's just like hating as dudes, or dudes who just be like, damn, like who the hell do this girl think she is? You ever come across any dudes like that?
Stop! Don't do that to them.
No, it's time to call them out, because that's wrong. But being a dude, I know dudes are like that. Some dudes, they feel so threatened by, especially because you are a driven person. So they look at it like, who does she think she is? You ever come across them type of dudes?
Yeah, so I would say, every new step I take in my journey of life, regardless if that's in the basketball world or just me being a person, there are a lot of men. It's usually men who are a little bit older because they were
How old?
raised differently.
But how?
I would say
I need the details.
I would say like almost old enough to like they have kids, so quite
Damn,
old.
they'd be
Like kids that
bitter.
I
They'd be
could
bitter
coach.
old dudes. That's why.
And it really started, I would say it was started when I was coaching for free in a free league, basically easy league. And I was like the only girl out of like, or there was like three other women in there, but I was quite young. And it was just the mannerisms they had around me. You could tell it was just a different type of respect versus towards the men that were there. And then basically, like they said some slick comment to another female, and I was like, no, I'm not having it.
What?
And so they said, I'm
You
not gonna
remember
say it because
what? What?
because it's just like horrible. Like, how can you say that to a human being in general? So he had said something. So I was like, she's one of the most passionate coaches I know, but she's a woman. But we're not going to talk about that though, right? Like, you feel me? Like,
Right,
because she's not a man, y'all don't respect her the same. Like, she's passionate.
right,
Because she's passionate and not angry or yelling, y'all view it as soft. And so
right.
I was like, y'all don't want to talk about that though. And he was like, I'm a grown man. You're not going to talk to me that way. And I was like, I don't care. You don't respect me. I will not respect you. I don't care what age you are. And
Right.
then he was just like trying to name all his accolades and stuff. And then eventually, which is very funny, a couple years later, I got invited to the banquet. And they were like, this is Coach Shae. She has done X, Y, and Z all the time where this guy has been in this league doing the same thing he's been doing since I was there in the beginning. So it's like, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. When people talk, they explain it for myself and they end up witnessing it. So, but just like other things like in AAU games, there's this
Uh-huh.
I've never had a bad experience besides this one ref literally
Yeah.
would not stop staring at me the whole game. I've almost had parents fight the ref because he literally was just looking at me. I could
It was a
say I
perverted stare.
no, it was like I'm looking for you to say something. But the
Oh, he was
coach,
on that.
the male coach next to me was on the court yelling. On the court yelling.
Wow,
And
that's
I'm over
crazy.
here, I'm just over here like, and one, like hyping my team up, like good D, da da da. And he's just looking at me and like running,
Let's
like
say something. Say,
looking,
yeah.
yes. And like literally the
Wow.
dads and the moms were on tip with him. And my players were like, what are you doing? Like, that's weird. And so we try to
Oh,
request
that's
a
wild.
different ref. But yeah, he really tried it. But I've had a lot of men like really just, go after my character. But they can say whatever they want. At the end of the day, they're still where they're at when I left them 3-4 years ago.
Preach,
So,
preach,
and I'm
Shay.
21 years old.
Preach.
21 years old, and I'm trying to beat the stigma. The first Black woman student assistant at Medina University for a men's program. My
Praise.
own
Clap it up.
coaching brand. I am
Clap it
also
up.
a coach at another highly respected gym and Junior NBA Coach of the Year. Been on multiple national TV stations. Like
Talk,
no,
Miss Shay.
no cocky stuff. But I'm
Talk.
so tired of being humble. You feel me? Put some respect on
Talk,
my
Miss
name. Like I'm
Shay.
so
Yeah.
tired of people just being like, she's a female. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, stop
Talk.
it. I'm a coach first. Like I'm a coach. Then you can tell me if I know what I'm talking about. But being a girl, being a woman has nothing to do with how I coach.
Facts. Facts.
Sorry, I
Tell
never act like this, but like because of that question, it really got me like this.
No, yeah, you gotta let it out. You gotta let it out. You don't feel good until you stop being humble sometimes. That's
Look
how
at
it is. See this,
the
man, this is
comment,
awesome. This
the
is also
comment,
why you said what? Oh, the comments?
the comment.
Yeah,
Because they know I'm not like that. I'm very humble. Like
real recognize real, Shay. That's what it is. Real recognize real. And this is why I wish we was in the studio, because if I was in the studio, I would really act a damn fool, because I'd be having cameras everywhere, so I can get up and like, oh man.
the little sound effects.
Yes, I'm not upgraded on the sound effects. I gotta get like on demand sound effects, because I'll be really needing them, and I'll be really wanting to be like hype. Like the moments, I'm gonna have to put something behind that when I go back and edit this. I'm putting something behind it. I have to.
But like just even going back at this, there's gonna be that one person that's like, she's full of herself. But if I was a man, they would have been like, yeah, bro, talk your
Damn,
talk.
he's
You
so
feel me? Da, da,
confident.
da.
He's a, yeah, that's wild.
You
That's
feel
wild.
me?
It was an interview I did with someone. It was pre-COVID. I did with pre-COVID. This was actually around the time of election. We was talking about it. We were saying how that's the same thing. How dudes would be like, oh man, he's such a passionate, strong leader. But then when there's a woman, they're like, damn, why she crying like that? Why
The
she
B
like, bro, it's
word.
the same
Like,
thing. So yeah, it's crazy. That is crazy. And I can only imagine how wild it is in a sports setting, because
in the male field of it, like
oh yeah,
with coaching women, like yes, same respect and everything, but when you have a woman trying to break social norms and all those stigmas in the male setting,
they hate that shit.
I don't even need to speak a word and it's already things being said. Like, she doesn't know the coach just by the way I look. I had a man when I was young. I was like 18 talking about you're too pretty, you're gonna distract this, that, and the other, and didn't even know any type of IQ level I had.
That's wild. That's what you tell them. You tell them my pretty ass gonna bust your team. we finna bust your.
And I don't have to say a thing. Like, people speak it for me. I never had to go up to somebody and be like, this is who I am. No, people will tell you about me, or you can simply Google my name. I'm the first top 10 things on there. So
damn it, Shay, you ain't even playing, but you still letting the game speak for you. Still letting the game speak for you. You ain't even playing right now. You ain't even been playing, and you letting the game speak for you. That, man, that's a great thing. That's a great. So you get that. So I'm guessing from what you told me, you've had that moment where you've had that hating ass coach, where the coach is hating on you bad, and then your team go out there and bust their ass. I'm guessing you have.
Yo, you
Let's
just
hear
named it. You just named it. So we're at the U of M field house. I don't know if they have more than. Wait, was it U of M? Yeah, I don't know if they have more than one field house, but it's like the one that you kind of have to walk upstairs, and all the courts are upstairs, and it kind of is very small, like stuffy, like it's like I don't know, kind of looks like a warehouse on top. I don't know how to explain it, but. So we're there coaching, right? So this is the same story kind of with the ref, but like this has nothing to do with that ref. We're on that court. We've been on that court actually the whole time, which was weird. I don't know, maybe it's just because of the age we had. And there was a team watching our game right before, and I had my friends coming in to watch one of the games. It was very packed in there, so they came back and they're on their way to watch our next game. So we're ending right now in fourth quarter. They're watching us play, and apparently my friend said those coaches were like, oh, she doesn't know how to coach. They don't know how to coach, because I was coaching with another woman as well. They don't know how to coach. They're females. They don't know what they're doing. So my friend came up to me right before we were playing them because we just won, so we were playing back to back. And was like, "Hey, like that coach was like talking real, mess about y'all." And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Came up to them, shook their hands, introduced myself. I was young too at that, so I probably look like I'm 12. I already look like I'm 12, so I definitely look like I was 12. And we ended up winning. And we ended up winning, not by like 1 or 2 points, but like 10 points. And it was only
Oh, damn.
because like we ended up falling towards the end. So like we ended up winning by a good amount. And so we walked right back up to him, shook their hands. Like,
Oh, he
good
was
game,
sick.
coach.
Oh, he was sick. You should have gave him a wink or something. You should have been. Oh man,
So
that's the best. I feel like that's the best feeling. That is honestly the best feeling when you're doubted, and then you don't have to say anything, but it's just obvious that you doubted me, but you're wrong. That's honestly the best feeling, and
yeah.
that's something I miss about competing, and that's something that I also love watching, and that's what I love hearing. Like you telling me these stories about when you had these moments, especially from a perspective of a Black woman. That man, that as hype.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's so, man. Like I'm hyped for you, and I wasn't even there. But if I was there,
Man.
like, or if it was my child or my daughter, and that happened, oh man,
You
it,
already know the parents were going crazy. I
I
didn't
would have
have
got
to
kicked
talk.
out.
That's why. No, some of the parents almost did. Like, I didn't have to talk. They would do most of it for me.
Oh man,
Like, I wouldn't need to. Like, they had it covered, and rightfully so. So, I mean, I would get sat down by a tech quicker than they would probably get kicked out, especially in that gym was already loud. So, you know
right.
what I'm saying? But, like, really the thing is behind my confidence, behind my abilities, and the reason why this is probably the first time ever in my coaching history that I wanted to brag for the first time, which is normal to brag
That's
as
good.
I should.
You got to
It's just like,
occasionally.
yeah, so it's
Occasionally,
just
you
like
got to.
the reason why I don't brag, like I'm very humble. I stay true to myself. I don't speak about things until they happen is mainly because it's like I forgot who said this. Someone famous said this about another famous person, but like I have coached so many times. Just like someone has studied math so many times. Someone has, took 1,000 shots so many times at a free throw line. I'm already so confident because I've done it so many
Yeah,
times. You shoot so many free throws, you
yeah.
don't have nothing to worry about when you get to that free throw line. Like I have coached
Repetition.
so many times that I am confident with it. I have no second guessing myself ever. Like ever.
Yeah, it's that repetition. Once you do something over and over and over and over again, it's like by the time you hit after doing it for so long, it come natural.
Naturally,
It come natural.
that's just my persona. That's what I give off. Like I've spoke publicly so many times. I'm just a naturally great speaker. I can communicate effectively well to other people because I've done it so many times. It's just my
Exactly.
persona.
Exactly. Yeah. When you put the work in, it comes out. When you put the work in, it shows. Preparation. I think it's called. Help me out. Help me out. Help me out. I don't. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and quote this, but I don't recall it's the same exact same. When preparation meets opportunity, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, something like that. It's some kind of quote, but it
yeah.
sounds so much better. But basically, preparation. Basically, when preparation meets that opportunity, that
Opportunity.
is like the time that's that blessing in disguise. Really, that's really that blessing in disguise, and it's a hell of an opportunity. So
Yeah.
yeah. But as far as the coaching, am I missing anything? You want to throw anything in there? You want to share another story? Anything around that? Another time where you got the chance to bust another coach ass after he doubted you, or maybe it was some players. Anything.
I mean, honestly, like just going to the training world, especially, it's just like there's gonna be a lot of people who have opinions. There's gonna be a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people who are gonna doubt you, no matter if you were Jesus. They're gonna doubt you. Like no one,
Always.
everyone's not gonna like you, no matter how good you do in the world. But at the end of the day, if you know you do good and you can go home and live with that, then at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. And also, just for me, just taking the time to make great people before you make great basketball players. I feel like my
That's
legacy and
that's
what I want
really
to leave,
important.
yeah, what I want to leave this world with, like I said it in my junior NBA speech, like I want to leave this world better than how I found it. Like when you
I
have
should
those
be.
signs of using a banquet hall, like
Talk
leave it
big
better than
Shay.
how you found it. Like that's basically what it is in
Talk big
life.
Shay. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. So you definitely got the right approach to it because man, that's how it should be. Because ultimately, a person's not going to be able to play basketball forever. They're not going to be able to play football, soccer, any other sports. They're going to have to be a person outside of that. So I love that approach. I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. And so as far as everything, I think that's all of the questions I do have. Um, I don't know if you can hear me. My phone tweaked out for a
What did
quick
you say?
second. My phone tweaked out for a quick second. You can
Oh
still hear
no.
me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's all of my questions. If you want to add, if it's nothing else you want to add, or if I'm not missing any questions, then I guess we call it a day. I apologize for this being so late. I would have loved to
No,
have
it's
done this in
okay.
person. When we are back in person, I would love to do it in person still. But in other words, we got to work with what we have right now, and what we have
Yeah.
right now is virtual everything. So that's what
Yeah.
we're from. But I do appreciate you so much, Big Shae.
No, I appreciate this opportunity, man.
No, no problem, no problem at all, no problem at all. So we're gonna put it on a podcast. We're gonna get it on there. We're gonna get some clips up on YouTube. We're gonna put the whole thing on IG. Get the clips up on IG. All of that. We're gonna put it all around. I'm gonna keep you updated on when everything is happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In other words, no, keep doing what you're doing. You are definitely on the right track. And I love it. I love it, the F being humble moment. I love it. Because that's what they say. They say sometimes you gotta stop being humble. Sometimes you need those moments because they don't hear you when you're being so humble. And
Okay.
the older I've gotten and the different experiences I've had, I find myself as a humble person as well. But there are times where when I look at it and I'm speaking from a place of being confident rather than being like arrogant or cocky,
Yeah.
it's just it's a blessing in disguise. So no, that I love it. Definitely on the right track. Just keep doing what you're doing. I look forward to hearing another story about when
Oh
somebody was
my.
doubting but has been proven wrong at some point. And I know that'll happen once COVID is done, whenever that may be.
Yeah. And AAU season comes back around, man.
So with AAU, all right, I know I said I was gonna wrap up, but with AAU, I promise we still wrapping up. We gonna wrap up. This is just a quick last little question because I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep you after I just said we about to go. But with AAU, so you were coaching them, or was you still like assistant coach?
Yeah, so I was an assistant coach for some like rec leagues and AAU leagues and stuff like that. This year I was gonna be a head coach, but COVID, like
Hey,
it doesn't. I don't even know what's going on at this point.
oh, that's gonna be
Nothing is
fun.
like concrete. So
I'm excited for it. I can't wait until you get that head coach. I'm gonna be cheering. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, Shay. Big Shay. That's hey, when you throw the big on it, it make it that much better. So big Shay. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be
thank you.
cheering. I'll be cheering. I look forward to the updates. But anyway, I'll let you go. Have a great night. Keep doing your thing out there. You're doing a great job, and
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
keep you updated on all the content.
All right, bet.
Thanks for joining, Shay. I appreciate it.